really didn't, bro. I told him to put it up. I was like, bro, 16, bro. Keep your hands up, Elijah. Put your hands up, boy. Put your hands up. Go, baby. Young boy. Young boy. Young boy. Good block, man. Time, my nigga. Time, bro. Too quick for him. Push him off.
Floyd Mayweather just leaked footage of Gervonta Davis sparring with Shakur Stevenson. Stevenson's a top-tier boxer today, no doubt, but why hasn't this three-time champ snagged those big-time fights with Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, or Davis? Is it his fault? Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing thinks it's all down to Stevenson's promoter. Could they be the ones to push Stevenson into the spotlight he deserves finally? Let's find out. The British promoter stated, "I think Shakur is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. He's maybe unbeatable, maybe he is that good, but I think he's been promoted terribly." Shakur Stevenson has been with Bob Arum's top rank from day one, but with just one fight left on his contract, he's set to become a free agent after July 6th when he faces Artem Harutyunyan. Eddie Hearn thinks Arum isn't fully backing Stevenson's potential for big-time success. Hearn shared his thoughts on Stevenson's future and feels the boxer hasn't been pushed enough by his promoter to achieve maximum commercial success. Hearn stated, "Shakur should be a massive star, but he is not." Hearn argued that Top Rank hasn't gone far enough to assist Stevenson in becoming a celebrity with commercial potential. Suggesting a prospect to make Shakur a commercial success, the British promoter added, "I think he's a great fighter. I think he would be an incredible addition to the Matchroom team, and if he's available, we will definitely be having a conversation. Whether it works for both of us, we have to see." Eddie Hearn has set his sights on signing the WBC lightweight champion, leaving the ball in the boxer's court. Despite his talent, this fighter is often underrated. His ticket to big paydays could be a showdown with Gervonta Davis, the Baltimore powerhouse, who commands a massive following in the boxing world. With Tank on the hunt for his next challenger, could Shakur Stevenson soon step into the ring with this knockout artist? The stage is set. Are we about to witness it? While discussing a potential bout with Davis, Stevenson, the southpaw, stated, "Honestly, I don't care. It is what it is. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for money or clout. I don't give a about that shit. I know that my time will come. Tank Davis has nowhere else to go but to fight me. At the end of the day, me and him will have to fight, and that's my opportunity." After scoring a stunning knockout against Frank Martin earlier this month, Tank Davis has two potential challengers for his next bout, Shakur Stevenson and Vasyl Lomachenko. He seems to be leaning towards a fight with Loma, and talks are in progress. However, there's a strong chance Davis could square off against Stevenson after the anticipated showdown with Lomachenko later this year. Recently, Robert Mayweather, Mayweather Promotions' protege, weighed in on who he believes is the standout among them. In a recent interview, he was asked to name the top performer among his former sparring partners. Naming his champion among the three, he said, "Against all the other guys, in my opinion, I got Tank, but I do feel like it's a tough fight among all of them." What's most intriguing is the inevitable clash between these three boxers. Davis and Haney have long been at odds, their rivalry even spilling into a leaked sparring session that captivated the public. It's only a matter of time before they step into the ring together. While maintaining respect towards Davis, Stevenson has consistently expressed his eagerness to compete against him. His determination to face Davis has been evident, significantly intensifying following Davis's recent bout against Frank Martin earlier this month. Nonetheless, King Mayweather explained, "They have really good boxing skills, boxing IQ, and they know what they're doing in the ring." Despite all this, the 19-year-old believes Davis's experience will prevail if they fight, suggesting, "We don't know if Shakur or Devin have the pop to keep Tank off of them." King thinks Davis's killer instinct is too much for Stevenson and Haney. Mayweather was unsure whether Stevenson can build up the power to press Davis to the limits, but said, "For right now, they are not going to be able to." It's interesting to note that a previous X exchange between the two suggests the same outcome. Before their anticipated bout in April, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, the Victorville-born boxer, released exclusive sparring footage on YouTube. The video revealed Haney under pressure throughout the match against Davis, prompting Adrian Bronner to intervene and briefly halt the session.
Don't do what the fuck you want to do.
Witnessing the intense sparring, Stevenson subsequently offered his insights. He wrote, "Never in my life have I taken a beating like that by any fighter, good lord." While Stevenson took a dig at Haney, Davis didn't want to let Stevenson play coy. Davis quickly responded in a now-deleted tweet, "You know what's up too." Haney asserted that the sparring video had been heavily altered to make him appear unfavorable. Like Mayweather's statement, most of the community shares the same viewpoint regarding the triad of lightweight boxing. Some believe that Gervonta and Shakur have the ingredients for an all-American, all-undefeated unification fight in one of the most significant divisions in the sport. When Devin Haney moved to 140 pounds and relinquished his 4 lightweight titles, it was advantageous for both men involved. Davis saw his status rise from WBA regular champion to full champion. At the same time, Stevenson seized the opportunity to compete for and triumphantly claim the vacant WBC belt against Edwin de los Santos. Fans are eager to see Tank and Shakur face off next, but 3-weight world champion and Hall of Famer James Toney cautioned Shakur against making that move. Toney said, "Shakur Stevenson is a good fighter, but Shakur Stevenson ain't ready for that. Everybody in boxing, you so-called experts, y'all don't know shit about boxing. Shakur is a young fighter. Let him develop, and then, when it's time, you make a move." But now, Tank got that momentum. It's bad for Shakur. He'll ruin his whole career like Crawford did to Errol Spence Jr. It looks like Shakur Stevenson won't be in the spotlight just yet, as Vasily Lomachenko gears up to negotiate with Davis. Both fighters have assured fans that a showdown will happen if they keep winning in their division. But Timothy Bradley hints at a twist. Davis's recent win could set the stage for a high-stakes clash with Shakur Stevenson. In an interview with Essentially Sports, Bradley predicted that Stevenson might be the one to break Davis's winning streak, highlighting Stevenson's impressive skills as a potential game-changer. He said, "Shakur doesn't need any wisdom from me. He knows what to do, whether he's with Top Rank or not. Shakur is that guy. He doesn't need me to tell him what to do." Bradley contends that Davis's 14-month absence might prove pivotal in an upcoming bout, tipping the scales in favor of Stevenson for a triumphant outcome. He added, "Stevenson knows he has that fight in him, that he's cut from a different cloth. He keeps bringing that intensity. He beats Tank. He surpasses him very easily, without any problem." Boxing fans are excitedly awaiting Stevenson's following fight result, and a Davis versus Stevenson matchup is a real possibility. This potential showdown guarantees an exhilarating clash between two of the sport's most skilled fighters. Moreover, Davis seems to have had enough of the criticism he gets and the chatter from Stevenson's camp. Gervonta Davis stated at the kickoff press conference before his fight against Frank Martin, "A lot of shit built up, and I'm going to take it out on him." Despite feeling rusty early on, Davis found his rhythm and unleashed powerful punches against Martin. A devastating uppercut, followed by a left cross in the 8th round, sent Martin crashing down. This victory marks Davis's 28th knockout in 30 fights, solidifying his dominance in the lightweight division. As the reigning WBA lightweight champion, Davis is eyeing a path toward unification. He is setting his sights on potential clashes with Shakur and Vasyl Lomachenko. Davis has previously discussed his views on facing one of these opponents. He said, "You know how it would go. Everybody in this room knows how it would go. I guess it would be good for the sport if we fight." Stevenson, who fights cautiously and defensively, has only 10 knockouts in 21 fights, significantly lower than Davis.
If there's a gun to your head, when are we gonna see the Shakur Tanks, the Shakur Devin, the Devin Tanks?
There's only one fight that is really
The one?
that. Like, if we were like gonna be for real about it, like,
keep it honest. What's the fight?
My opinion, because we talking about like skill and like boxing, like all around boxing, right?
Yeah.
Because we ain't talking about somebody that just got a good jab or what.
Yeah.
We talking about like all around.
Can do everything.
Yeah, boxing.
Yeah.
Me and Tank the biggest fight.
That's the one.
It's the biggest fight in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be the biggest boxing fight in the world when it happens.
Y'all, what you think? Like 147, 140?
Nah, hell no.
You think
135?
35, 40, I don't know. I could see it happening not too far in the future.
Really?
Yeah, I think Tank will sign that contract.
Dang.
And I'm going to sign a contract too, so it's
Then
like,
you gonna get it on.
yeah.
Meanwhile, Stevenson aims to surpass Artem Harutyunyan's challenge, pushing harder than Martin did last year, determined to achieve outright domination. Stevenson told Boxing Scene, "I'm not going to say I want to knock him out, because at the end of the day, when you go in there looking for the knockout, that's how they don't come. I'm looking to prove there are levels. We saw that Frank was on a C level against Davis, and I want to show Artem is C level as well. well. Stevenson further added, it was a professional versus an amateur. Frank Martin lost the fight to Davis in the first round. When Tank walked out and made him do exactly what he wanted to do, he lost the fight. Frank went out there and wasted a lot of energy in the first 3 or 4 rounds. Tank lined him up and got rid of him. Stevenson is poised to chart his career path as a free agent after his bout with Harut-Union, marking the conclusion of his contract with Top Rank. Meanwhile, Davis is preparing for a potential matchup with Stevenson's promotional colleague Vasily Lomachenko. As a result, Stevenson will not have the top 2 fighters in the division to choose from for his upcoming matchup this year. Stevenson said when asked about missing out on Davis and Lomachenko, "For now, we're focused on Artem." Stevenson mentioned that the opportunity to face IBF lightweight title holder Lomachenko has long been on their radar, and they are awaiting negotiation by Top Rank. Yet, the situation is more complex than it appears, with Stevenson already considering other options. Stevenson said, "I think me and Lomachenko should be next and unify. Honestly, a lot of people don't know that Lomachenko is one of my favorite fighters. It would be very lovely to share the ring with him. I think that he's a good fighter, and that fight should happen. I think that's a Lomachenko question. His team has to accept the fight, but it's my time right now." Currently, Stevenson must contend with Harut-Union in his upcoming bout, and then observe how the situation unfolds between Davis and Lomachenko. Stevenson said, "It just depends on which Lomachenko shows up against Davis. I honestly can't see him just knocking Lomachenko out. Lomachenko has tricks and is defensively sound. The skill level Lomachenko has is a lot better than Frank Martin. No disrespect to Frank Martin, it's just the experience level that Lomachenko has." Moreover, Stevenson revealed, Tank has the edge. He's younger, fresher, and powerful. He has the edge for sure, but I don't see it as a whitewash. It also depends on what Lomachenko has left in the tank. A lot of people watched that last fight versus George Kambosos Jr. and felt that he looked super good. I paid attention. I thought he looked good, but he couldn't really up the pace the way he wanted to. Jeff Zimmerman likened Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis to a contemporary version of the Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns rivalry, known for its historic bouts. However, Stevenson, a boxing enthusiast, differed in his perspective. He believed that a matchup between him and Davis would more closely resemble the bouts between Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. Shakur Stevenson immediately replied, "I think it's more like Duran versus Ray Leonard." Zimmerman noted that Davis's coach, Kenny Ellis, expressed confidence in Gervonta's capability to defeat Shakur. In response, Shakur Stevenson respectfully expressed disagreement with Kenny Ellis. Shakur Stevenson said, "I ain't really see what Ellis said, so I don't know. But he should pick his guy to win. Everybody should believe that they're gonna win, and that's very normal. But I'm 100% sure that I'm a win. So we'll see once the day lines up." However, the Baltimore team is initiating discussions with Top Rank for the Lomachenko fight, as former world champion turned analyst Paulie Malignaggi reported to ProBox TV, highlighting boxing's ongoing issues. Malignaggi said, "This is my issue here. When I wanted to see Davis and Lomachenko, I wanted to see Davis-Lomachenko. I don't need to see Davis and Lomachenko when it's too late already. Now I want to see Davis and Stevenson. And guess what? Nobody's talking about Stevenson. That's my issue. This is my problem with boxing." Malignaggi continued complimenting Tank, but in the end, he stated that despite the strong showing, his prediction, a Stevenson victory, hasn't altered. He said, "Davis looked terrific, man. I was very impressed with the performance, the way he was able to go and get that win. But come on, man, Shakur Stevenson is a different proposition than everybody else. The little problems you saw Frank giving Davis, it's times 10 when Shakur's there. I think Davis is also very qualified for the fight. Am I saying do I edge Shakur? I've always edged Shakur." Bob Arum said in an interview, "If a fighter doesn't bring to the table eyeballs, people who will pay to see the match, then it's really tough to make a big match for them." Josh Dubin, co-manager of Stevenson, took issue with comments from promoter Bob Arum, who suggested Lomachenko could be a more profitable opponent for Davis. Dubin emphasized Lomachenko as the bigger fight. Dubin said, "That, in my opinion, and I managed Shakur with James Prince, that is a totally nonsensical reason why they are not pushing to get Shakur this fight." Moreover, Dubin said, "In my opinion, they don't want to give him a big fight because their contract is running out. But they have the power to say to Lomachenko, 'Look, here's the fight we're offering you.' They don't do that. They could say to Tank Davis's people, 'Look, Shakur's a bigger fight.' And he is a bigger fight, in our opinion, because they're two undefeated guys in their prime." Dubin further added, "Shakur wants the biggest fights, and I understand they can't force people to fight him, but to give the explanation that they're not trying to negotiate a Tank Davis fight because Shakur isn't the draw is just nonsense." Then, the guy who just beat Emmanuel Navarrete, Berinchik, is on social media calling Shakur out. He's making videos calling him out. Dubin remarked that he believed the reasons were quite evident. He questioned what incentive there would be for him to continue fighting for them, noting that they were not not currently supporting him. Dubin acknowledged that Arum was not making negative comments, but criticized the justification given for not pursuing a fight with Tank Davis, calling it a lame reason and a lame excuse. He said, "There's 3 fights that Stevenson wants: Lomachenko, Tank, and Berinchik. Those are the fights he wants. He's been pleading for those fights, and they could make the Berinchik fight at the snap of a finger right now. But the specific thing I'm responding to is Arum saying that in order to make a big fight, you need someone that puts bums in seats or eyeballs on the screen. Shakur's that guy." Dubin further noted that Shakur's popularity was evident from TV ratings and breaking ticket sales records at the United Center in Newark, having sold 10,000 seats there multiple times. He highlighted that Shakur's fight with Oscar Valdez also sold around 10,000 tickets, possibly more, in Vegas. Dubin expressed his view that it was a ridiculous excuse, emphasizing that Shakur consistently sells 10,000 tickets in Newark and is a significant draw in Vegas. He insisted that these were not mere opinions, but facts. Furthermore, Dubin contends that Stevenson has more allure than Lomachenko. However, Stevenson failed to impress in his bout against De Los Santos, whereas Lomachenko shone brightly in his victory over George Kambosos in Australia. He added, "Fair enough. The operative part of that is against Kambosos, and that's another fight Shakur wanted. He didn't get that." Buddy McGirt suggests that the ultimate showdown in the 135-pound division would feature WBA champion Gervonta Davis against WBC champion Shakur Stevenson. McGirt told Seconds Out, "He's in a hot division. He's in a very, very hot division. I think the fight right now has to be him and Shakur Stevenson. That's the fight. That's the only fight that makes sense in my opinion. That's got to be the super fight. There's a lot of guys that can test him, but I think the fight right now is him and Shakur. I believe that's the fight right now." Speculation continues regarding Davis potentially facing Ukraine's Vasily Lomachenko amid the complexities involving multiple factors in the lightweight and junior welterweight divisions. When a video of Devin Haney and Davis sparring went viral, McGirt was hardly at all intrigued. He said, "Sparring is one thing. Fighting is a completely different animal. You can beat someone up in sparring. That doesn't mean it's going to happen in the fight. I really don't feed off that stuff. In my day, you could have been the champ and gotten kicked 2 or 3 times a week. It didn't matter. You'd learn from it and keep on moving." Fans hold a contrasting perspective. They perceive Shakur as a cautious fighter who avoids engagement and has yet to face formidable opponents aside from Edwin De Los Santos. Some argue De Los Santos bested him last November, but ended up on the wrong side of a contentious decision. Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather recently leaked sparring footage of Tank and Shakur. Moreover, Floyd recently said that the biggest puncher at 135 will probably be Gervonta Davis, but the most skillful fighter at 135 will be Shakur Stevenson, hands down.
Skills that pay the bills.
Well, the two guys, well, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
The boxing world is excited as Shakur Stevenson emerges as a top contender in the lightweight division. Stevenson's future looks bright, with talks of potential matchups between Gervonta Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko. However, opinions are divided on whether he's ready to take on these boxing giants. While some believe he has the skills to become a champion, others argue he needs more experience before facing such formidable opponents. Only time will tell if Stevenson can live up to the hype and become the next big thing in boxing. Who do you think should be a potential opponent for Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.